Hello, welcome to Premier Football Chat. Today we're going to discuss the games that were played yesterday. So we'll start off with Leeds United, who got a 2-1 victory at Anfield. So that was a very good performance from Leeds. They played very well, Leeds United. They started off a bit poor because Menuet came charging out. Lee Cooper headed the ball back, but Menuet came charging out and it led to a corner. So they looked a bit shaky. But then shortly afterwards, it was Liverpool who were a bit shaky because Joe Gomez had a bit of a you could say it was a bozo gene. So he kept messing up Joe Gomez. So he tried to play a back pass back to Allison, but Allison wasn't where Joe Gomez thought he was. Joe Gomez played the back pass blind, which meant that Rodrigo could have an easy tap in front of the cop end. So Leeds United went 1-0 up, and it was a bit of a surprise. But Liverpool then got back into it through a goal through Mo Salah, and after that you thought, yeah, Liverpool would go on to win it, but in fact it was Leeds United who were pressing and sort of camped in Liverpool's half in the second half. Liverpool started to grow into it, and you just thought Leeds may have missed their opportunity to take advantage of Liverpool because they were really shaky throughout the game. But Leeds managed to get a goal in the dying minutes of the game through Somerville. So just the day before his 21st birthday, and the Leeds fans went absolutely crazy as well. So it's a fourth defeat in 12 matches for Liverpool, and they're ninth in the league now. So I think you can rule them out of the title race because they're 13 points behind Man City. So yeah, it's not looking good for them. It's looking like it's going to be a difficult season because they got to the end of all the domestic competitions, won the FA Cup last season and the League Cup, and in Europe as well. They got to the Champions League final but lost that, and they managed to take the Premier League to the final game of the season, but they just missed out on that as well. So with the extra hectic schedule this season with the World Cup coming up, I think it's going to be difficult for them to mount a challenge, and top four is looking like it's going to be hard as well. But with Liverpool, they've got that history in Europe, so that could be their best route for getting Champions League. This season, it's just going to be a difficult season for them. Also, Brighton played really good as well. Trossard scored in a 4-1 victory against Chelsea, so that was Graham Potter returning. He got a frosty reception from the Brighton fans, but he did a good job there, to be honest. I think most Brighton fans would admit that. Some of them might be unhappy how he's left, but he did a good job there. But yeah, Brighton put him to the sword. I was quite surprised. I thought it would be 1-1, but yeah, Trossard scored, very good goal, nice feet, took it around the keeper, and slotted home. Kepa came off as well during this game, but before he came off, he conceded a couple more own goals from Loftus Cheek. So it was a vicious corner that was put into the box, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then afterwards, they conceded another own goal through Trevor Chalobah, and they managed to get one back just after half time, but it wasn't enough, and then they conceded again. So it was a difficult afternoon for Chelsea. Very surprised that they lost that game. But Brighton Brighton are a very good team to watch, aren't they? And you just wondered if they could keep that up after Potter had left. But they seem to be doing okay. That was their first win under Zibri. So yeah, they're doing all right. And then on to Newcastle. So Newcastle were that was an interesting game as well. So it was at 0-0. Martinez had a head injury when he collided with Tyrone Mings, and yeah, he carried on. The referee asked if he was okay. He said he was okay, but then they had to deal with a cross with no one around him, and then he just sort of must have felt a bit dizzy and then came off. So once he came off, uh, Olsen, who was the substitute keeper, made some good saves at 0-0, but just before half time, Ashley Young handballed it, and Callum Wilson scored a penalty. So yeah, Callum Wilson was influential in all four goals in this 4-0 win, so he scored the penalty, and yeah, scored a good goal from a nice little header from a corner routine. worked from Newcastle, and Gareth Southgate was watching. And there's a lot of people debating whether he should go to the World Cup or not. But it's not really a debate, to be honest. The only thing is can he stay fit? If the answer is yeah, he has to go, and I think he will 100% go to the World Cup if he stays fit, because he's just a goal scorer. And yeah, he had a Joe Linton scored his first goal for Newcastle in over a year, I think it was. So yeah, Callum Wilson again had a shot. Keeper saved it, but it fell back to Joe Linton and he scored. And then Miguel Almiron once again. This guy's some player, because I thought, yeah, he might be finished at Newcastle maybe. And I know Jack Grealish had a dig at him as well, so they dug him out. But ever since that, Almiron's just been on fire. He scored 6 and 6. So yeah, Newcastle are flying. I think they could be contenders for the Champions League positions as well, because they've not got any European football this season, so they'll be fresh as well, a bit fresher than everyone else. Especially, you've got to take that into consideration with it being a World Cup year as well. So they'll fancy the chances. They've got the money as well if they need to strengthen in January. But at the moment, Eddie Howe's doing a really good job with this team. Brilliant. They're doing brilliant. And the fans as well up there are amazing. And yeah, we'll move on to Tottenham. So Tottenham were playing at Bournemouth, so at the Vitality Stadium. Kiefer Moore scored to put Bournemouth 1-0 up. He had like freedom of Bournemouth to score. No one was in the box. You don't really get that much space in the boxes in the Premier League football, really, but no one trapped him. And then he had a goal where he couldn't miss, really. So yeah, put him 1-0 up, and Tottenham again conceded in the second half as well. So it must have been around 10 minutes into the second half. Kiefer Moore scored again, another header. I think he ran off the back of, it must have been Emerson Royale. Him and Sanchez were in the box, and he got in between and scored a header. And it's 2-0. But Tottenham came back through Ryan Sessegnon, got one back. It was a very good run off the ball, got played through, and then he scored. It went posting in. It just gave him a bit of hope, and Bournemouth struggled to defend corners. So yeah, Tottenham scored again, and then in the 90th minute as well, there's another corner came out and ball brought to Bentancur, and he managed to score. So Tottenham sort of got out of jail. But you're just wondering, like, can that be a springboard for Tottenham to go and go on a run, because they've not really played that well and they've lost. They were on the back of 2 defeats to Man United and Newcastle, but this should do them a bit of confidence as well, especially after that frustration in midweek in the Champions League when they thought they scored the winner in the last minute there. So we'll see how they get on, but I feel like it's going to be tough for Tottenham, but they're doing all right in the league, to be fair. So yeah, we'll move on to Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace won again. So yeah, they're doing well at the minute. Crystal Palace got a few home wins on the trot now. So yeah, it was Edouard who scored. So they went 1-0 up. Southampton had a few chances through Shea Adams, and they really should have got back into the game, but it was just poor finishing. And I think Southampton will be under pressure. Well, the manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl, because yeah, they picked up a point against Arsenal, which is really good home result, but they need wins, to be honest. And they wasn't really that good again on the road, and I think it's 4 or 5 games where they've not scored, or they just scored one, sorry, and that was at Bournemouth. So yeah, I think it's 5 games, 1 goal on the road, and that's not gonna get you up the table. And then there was a game at the King Power, early kick-off, Leicester against Man City. So Man City were camped in the half, basically, of Leicester, just dominating the ball in the first half. Bernardo Silva had a shot that was all saved. And then in the second half, it went 1-0 up, so Jack Grealish got fouled and De Bruyne put in a brilliant free kick. And it hit the post and went in. Danny Ward had no chance. So yeah, I think Leicester rallied after that. They sort of came out because they went 1-0 down, started to play. But they had a good chance from the corner. James Maddison sort of played a floating pass out on the edge of the box where Tillemans were, and he struck it really well. Couldn't have hit it any cleaner, but it was just straight at the middle. So Edison was able to make the save and tip it onto the bar. But yeah, Leicester rallied, and I think the fans will be happy with their effort. But it was Man City who got all 3 points in the end. And there was a game at the Brentford Community Stadium between Brentford and Wolves. So Ben Mee was in the thick of it. He scored the brilliant goal with an acrobatic finish from a cross. So it was a very good goal for a defender. It's like a striker's finish. And Wolves equalised through Ruben Neves. So yeah, the ball came to Traore. He passed it out to Semedo. It was outside the box. Who passed it to Neves, who scored from outside the box. So yeah, Neves scored a lot of goals from outside the box in the Championship, and obviously most of his goals come from outside the box. But he just needs to get in those positions and start shooting more from outside the box, because there aren't too many players who can hit a ball outside the box like Ruben Neves when he hits them. You just have to go watch his goals from Wolves' promotion season. So yeah, they suddenly scored some worlders there. And then, yeah, this was Bobby Madley's first game reffing in a few years. In about 4 years, he got sacked. But then he's been reinstated again after a video that he posted in reference to himself in his Zimmer frame, I think. And he had a big decision to make in the 90th minute of this game. So Diego Costa headbutted Ben Mee, who scored Brentford's goal, and it went to VAR. But it was a blatant headbutt from Diego Costa. Once it went to VAR, and Bobby Madley checked the screen, there was only going to be one outcome, and that would be a red card. So yeah, on to Fulham against Everton. So that was the evening kick-off, Saturday 5:30, and it was a 0-0 game. It was quite entertaining. Fulham had quite a bit of pressure, a few corners in the first half, but wasn't able to make any of them count. Mitrovic had a lot of attempts in this game, but wasn't able to score. Everton played well in the first half as well. They played their part, but in the second half, it was just all Fulham really, but they couldn't score. Yeah, Mitrovic had like 10 attempts, but wasn't able to find the net in it. And yeah, it was a good hard-earned point for Everton, who don't really pick up many wins on the road, but they'll be happy with a point. I think they'll take that. And yeah, at the minute, there's a game going on now between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, and that's 37 minutes in. And Martinelli scored after 5 minutes. And I'll just get the league table up now. And yeah, as it stands, Arsenal will be going top, City on 31 points, Man City on 29, Tottenham on 26, but they've played 13 games, so that's one game more than Man City and Arsenal. And Newcastle are fourth, wow, 24 points. And Chelsea are fifth with 21, and Man United are sixth with 20 points. For Man United are 2 games in hand over Newcastle, and they're 4 points behind. But Man United play West Ham today in the later kick-off. And in the bottom 3, it's Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Leicester. So it's not looking good for the Midlands teams at the minute. So yeah, thanks for listening. And yeah, I'll post another video when I can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream a FIFA session in a bit.